When I first came to WWF-SASSI was just in its baby shoes, and when I heard that it was a consumer-focused initiative, I initially had my doubts because I didn't think in South Africa, in the context that we live in, we'd be able to mobilize a consumer campaign that would have any kind of traction. And I think the sentiment was, in the early days, was shared by quite a few of the retailers. You know, there's the anecdote, I don't know, it became part of folklore of SASSI, is that an old lady in Port Elizabeth called the local radio station on a chat show, and she said, "Can anyone tell me why a red-listed fish is on the shelves at," and she named the retailer. And that single action of activism was something that suddenly drove a retailer to take this very, very seriously and to come to WWF and say, what can we do?
And so when SASSI and WWF was instituted, it was just amazing. It was exactly what we had sort of looked at the time, and we were ready to get involved in either presenting or hosting the SASSI program back in the early days. So I've been involved in training with the SASSI participants on behalf of WWF here in the Western Cape. And so that's been spanned probably about 15 of those 20 years. So I have no idea how many people I have in fact trained, but it's just been immensely rewarding regarding that.
2005, I was contacted by SASSI. Jacob Arendse had just started in those days, and SASSI had decided it needed a consumer outreach program, some way of educating the consumer about the state of South Africa's fish stocks. They were making very innovative strides in those days in science communication, and exploring this chain of custody from the ocean to the consumer with the express intention of changing behavior through developing awareness of the vulnerability of marine life and sensitivity of the ecosystem were suddenly made me see what SIAP was doing in a light that was beyond the old museum education paradigm. Here it became about why the science is important and how we need to develop an appreciation amongst the consumer to create the demand for the resource, about how that resource, it won't go on forever. It has to be managed carefully.
What makes me proudest about the SASSI initiative is the team and the capacity and the willingness to share of the team. Many of our visitors are first-timers to an aquarium, first-timers to the marine world, and it gives us an opportunity to engage with those people who would never have come across the SASSI program either. I think a real important part of it as well is how many of our staff and volunteers have been trained as ambassadors for this program. And you can imagine over 20 years, there's been changes, but each one of those, the SASSI program sticks with them. They don't have an option because we all learn how important this program is, and so we carry it with us.
I am extremely grateful to every single person who's worked on the SASSI program, largely people employed by WWF-SASSI. They are what we call energy radiators rather than energy sappers. So you never get load shedding around people like that if you hang out with them. The current team could very well be the team in the middle or the team in the beginning. It seems to attract just the same level of dedication, and I really, really am deeply grateful for the fantastic work and efforts of the collective as well as every single individual.